In addition to all the fantastic nature you'll find here on Medvednica, there is also plenty to see in terms of points of interest, and we start our tour at the Chapel of Our Lady of Slemia, Queen of Croats. This church was built in 1932, is at the juncture point where the trails from Zagorje and Zagreb County come together. And it marks 1,000 years of the Croatian kingdom and also 1,300 years of the baptism of Croats. So a very symbolic thing. And a really nice, if you're religious, as a lot of Croatians are, a lot of people come up here, they have their hiking, and then they come to church here. So for the Sunday service, so you can come at 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock, and 3 o'clock, and then go off and have a wonderful lunch. It's about 200 meters away from Grofica restaurant, which is one of the best restaurants around, and also a few steps from Chinovnička meadow, which is a place a lot of families gather, they play games, picnics, there's a couple of bars there as well. So a really, really nice spot, fantastic nature. While much of the attraction of Bear Mountain is obviously above ground, there's also another story to be told below ground, and the sixth largest cave in all Croatia, Veternica Cave, is also located on Medvednica. And this is a really, really fascinating look at how things used to be. The cave itself is accessible for tourists for the first 380 meters only, during which the expert guide will take you through things that you'll find in the cave, such as fossils from sea urchins. There's a jaw of a cave bear. The Neanderthals, who are the original inhabitants of this area, used to worship the cave bear in their religion, and so this is one more connection between Bear Mountain and Zagreb today. And it's most famous for its bats. There are 16 different types of bats which live in the cave, 12 of them permanently inside. And in order to protect them during the very important and vulnerable hibernation period, the cave is actually closed to visitors during the winter period. So this is one more sign of how the authorities are working to preserve nature and have sustainable tourism. One of the other attractions underground, which is quite interesting, especially for younger people, is the Zrinski mine. And this is a former mine in beautiful forest, really birdsong and so on. And the contrast between working in a mine and being out here in this nature must have been quite stark. It was opened in the 16th century by the famous Zrinski family. They found galena, which is the lead zinc ore from which you can get silver. And they had 30 miners at a time working 10 to 12 hour shifts down here in really, really basic conditions. The mine was never very profitable, and so it was closed by the Zrinski family in the mid-17th century. And then for centuries it was left completely abandoned. The only thing that would actually move in the mine was when there was an occasional landslide in the abandoned shafts. And then in 2004, the local authorities decided to try and turn it into some kind of attraction, and so now what you have is this visitor centre. You can go down and experience it, put your hard hat on. It's a nice alternative experience for kids to go and explore a different side of mystical Bear Mountain. There are no prizes for guessing which is the most prominent building on Bear Mountain, and that is behind me the Medvedgrad fortress, which was built in the 13th century by Bishop Philip, initially to keep away the Tatars from invasion. It became something that really protected Zagreb, and actually it was never actually invaded itself over the centuries, but it's been protecting Zagreb now for 8 centuries. And when you look from the city, you see this imposing fortress which is just surrounded, nestled in a sea of green, of forest and so on. There's been an extensive renovation of the fortress in recent years, and it's now opened with a really fascinating visitor centre which takes in all the history of the mountain and the surrounding area. So let's go take a look. One great addition which has really helped transport people up the mountain has been the Zagreb cable car, which opened 2 or 3 years ago. And this now is something that is open for non-residents, and it has 2 stops, and it takes people up to Sljeme, and it starts at 10 in the morning with the last cable car going up at 6:30. The last one down is at 7 o'clock. But this really has enabled people to move quickly and effortlessly from town. And when you get to the top of the cable car station, it's surrounded by bars and restaurants, also the TV tower, and it's probably the focal point for many people of life on the mountain. If you're looking for a cheeky little place on the western side of the mountain, then head to the Kamenesvati Mountain Hut. It has no permanent caretaker and it's only open on Sundays or by prior arrangement, so it's a good idea to check ahead. It's located just below the peak of Kamenesvati. It's only a 5-minute walk from the summit. It was originally built as a mountain shelter in 1982 and later expanded into the cosy house it is today, and it's managed by the Zagreb Mountaineering Society. Outside you'll find plenty of tables and benches, but keep in mind the hut doesn't offer drinks or food. It's a perfect place just to chill and relax, but bring your own snacks, great place for a picnic. One of the things about Bear Mountain is that it arouses different passions and different people. We're here now at Hunka Meadow, which is this beautiful picnic area we've mentioned before. But now, if we go down here, we're going to a little project from a man called Vladimir Horvat. And between 1946 and 1953, he single-handedly built the Horvat Steps, which are 500 steps in a different part of the mountain, made out of stone. It was a real project of passion and an absolutely sensational walk. And after the 50th step, stop, take a look. The view is absolutely sensational. Let's take a look. If you're looking to have a short walk and go somewhere into the past, then I recommend you check out Susedgrad. It's perched on a hill above the Zagreb neighbourhood of Podsused. This medieval fortress has been keeping watch over the valley below for centuries, and it's only about a 10-minute walk to reach it. It may seem quiet and forgotten today, but it has a very colourful history, and people have lived here since the 9th century. Its golden age came in 1316 when King Charles I of Anjou is believed to have ordered the fortress to be built. And it wasn't just a random spot. It stands at the crossroads of important trade routes between the Krapina river streets and the Sava, on the old road from Zagreb to Slovenia. Back then it was a strategic point, and whoever held it had a very, very strong grip on the city's western access point. Over the centuries, Susedgrad has changed many times, but one name in particular still echoes through its history: Franjo Tahi.